Hello and welcome to Arsenal Domination, where I want to talk about Kepa. Now, I don't normally do transfer rumours overly unless I'm talking about them sort of in the context of, the wider transfer window. But this one has caught my attention. I did a video, it's a sort of number two in my series that, is currently ongoing on the summer transfer window about goalkeepers and how it's going to be a really difficult one for Arsenal to look at this summer. Neto returning to Bournemouth means Arsenal need a number two. And ideally, they will want a number two, sort of similar to Ramsdale and when he was here, which is a player with Premier League experience that is a decent level goalkeeper that can come in should Raya get injured, which obviously you don't want to happen, but you have to plan for it, that can play with his feet that don't allow Arsenal to have to rechange their whole style. And I was going through in that video options, and they were really quite limited. And one player I was going to mention but decided against, ironically, going for his Chelsea colleague Sanchez instead, was was Kepa, who's been on loan at Bournemouth. Now, Kepa obviously has a very mixed reputation, understandably so. He came into Chelsea, I think, as a record transfer fee, if I remember rightly. I think Chelsea paid more than Liverpool paid for Alisson and sort of set the record then. And he came in under enormous pressure and really, really struggled at Chelsea. He struggled with his attitude, he struggled with the physicality of the Premier League. And he really had a tough time, and I think he lost his confidence, and it just didn't go well there. And I'm really reluctant to say I'm happy to take someone from Chelsea because we've obviously had relatively bad experiences, but not as necessarily as bad as everyone makes out. We can all remember back to Willian or Gallas or even, David Luiz to some extent, although I don't think that was quite as bad as it was made out to be, but certainly far from a success. Let's not pretend otherwise. Probably Sterling, of course, as well. Trying to forget about him. But does Kepa make sense? Well, I think he does tick a lot of those boxes. He is a player with Premier League experience. He is a decent enough goalkeeper. You wouldn't want him as your number one, but as a number two, I think he can do more than a good job should Raya come in. He'd probably be willing to take a backup role at this point with some sort of cup games thrown in. And he had a pretty decent spell at Bournemouth this year. He was quite good there. So I think Hein remains sort of my favourite to do so, but I don't hate this. I kind of hate myself for saying it, but I don't hate it. And at £5 million, it's good value. I think the red flags would be the attitude, the fact he's coming from Chelsea, and possibly the wages. But otherwise, I think he ticks a lot of boxes. It might just be a smart pickup. I mean, I'm not expecting a lot of you to agree with this. I'm not expecting a lot of you to like it, but I'm struggling to think if Carl Hein wants to go of a better option. Let me know what you think.